Welcome to episode 2 of the OnlyDegens podcast. In this podcast, your hosts, JT and Degen, discuss the fallout of the college football playoffs. Was the committee right or were they wrong? We give you our predictions for how the college football playoff will shake out. And finally, we get a visit from the cart girl. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Only Degens podcast, episode 2, with your hosts, Degen and JT. JT, how are we doing today?
Pretty good. How we doing?
Doing all right, doing all right. Full disclosure to everybody at home, this is being recorded on a Sunday, mid NFL games, and JT and I both just sweat
Oh my
the
god.
heck out of that Eagles game. That was painful.
It's just every time. Just with these horrible teams. Unbelievable.
I mean, they just can't make it easy for us, but I guess hey, that's what we get as the life of a fan and stuff. So, been we've been off for a few weeks, got a lot to cover, especially in the college football scene. So what you been up to in the past few weeks, JT? Anything fun?
Ugh, man, holidays. So we had a lot of family in town, stuff like that. So going back and forth. I had the sister and her fiance come up with the extended family too. So that was great. Food all turned out fantastic. It was a great time. So no, I mean, can't complain. Just working, trying to finish out the year strong at the company and everything. But no, what about you?
Same old, same thing, pretty much. Good holidays for sure. Good time off from work, and then work hits you when you come back. But a lot of good football and stuff on, and some good sports on during the holidays and stuff. But I think there's nothing more important at this minute to talk about than the college football rankings. All right, the playoffs are set for college football,
Um,
and we have a lot to say. We have a lot to say. Let me tell you. JT, initial reactions to this bracket. Like, what was your first reaction when you saw this bracket come out?
um, kind of all the emotions, if I'm being honest. I mean, you got your heavy hitters, you got your. I mean, first of all, if we're talking about anything, it's the games that happened last Saturday or yesterday that really kind of shook everything up. I mean, Clemson doing that to SMU in the ACC championship really shook a lot of things up, and Georgia just being Texas's daddy is just that's just a thing in itself. But no, I mean all the emotions. I mean you captured, in my opinion, a good amount of those the best teams that are out there. I'm clearly biased because of Alabama and everything, but look, I mean, hey, we lost to Vanderbilt, lost to OU. You can't do that. And look, I get the committee going. You can base off 3 losses. I completely get it, and I'll stand by that. I've been saying that for weeks. I mean, you get 3 losses. I mean that's tough to argue and to put you in that slot and to really kind of give you that bid. Um, but overall, I mean, I'm excited. I mean, everybody's kind of going through those same emotions too, right? I mean, it's the first season that we're doing this. It's the first layout of the entire bracket and playoff structure. So I'm excited. At the end of the day, I'm pumped that football is going to go on for another couple weeks throughout the year and stuff. Bama in or Bama out, it's still going to be still benefit us. But how do you feel? What were your reactions on it?
I can't say I'm surprised, but I was definitely. I have my problems. I definitely have problems. I think we all have problems with the bracket. So I guess first let's talk about the 12-team format versus the 4-team format. I was a fan of the 12-team idea. Um, I hated the 4-team format. I thought the 4-team format was kind of terrible, to be honest with you. However, I don't like how the 12-team bracket is set up. I like the fact that 12 teams get in, controversy or not. We'll talk about the controversy here in a little bit. My main thing is if you win a conference championship, you do not automatically get a first round bye. I'm not sure whose idea that was. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. This
I'll
is ridiculous. To have Boise State and Arizona State to have first round buys is absolutely absurd in my mind.
I mean, I don't. None of
So,
their. I mean, just going back to what you said. I mean, seeing that Boise State and Arizona State have first round buys is hilarious.
it's a joke in my opinion. Like,
I just,
I mean, listen, they won their championships. I'll give them that. No problem for me there. Congratulations. You get a round of applause. I'll give you a pat on the back if you want one. But for you to get a first round bye, oh my goodness, I do have a problem with that. But all right, let's talk about these rankings. Let's talk about these rankings. All right. I don't think we have a problem with Oregon being number one.
no,
I don't think
it's
we have a
stupid.
problem with that at all. they've been playing really well all year long. They won the Big Ten championship, deservingly number one. Some people are faulting them on their strength of schedules, 34th overall. I'm not going to fault them on it. They played some good teams. They won. They
Yeah,
won decisively in a lot of games. They beat some of the best teams, right? They beat the Ohio States. They beat the Penn States, who were both playoff teams. I have no problem with them, number one.
not at all.
Going to Georgia at number two. I have, again, no problem here either. I don't have a problem with Georgia being number two. SEC champs. I know they have two losses. Some people are, oh, they have two losses. Those teams who have one loss. Miss me with that. They beat Texas twice, which some people are faulting them for as well, that they beat the same team. They still beat a Texas team that's in the playoffs not only once, they beat them twice.
I was gonna say, I think it's even more impressive that they beat them twice.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're not going to
So,
come with the same game plan. I mean, it's a completely different team, right? Different circumstance, different situation, and then like I think Kirby Smart, beating Sarkeesian twice in one season is, I mean, tip of the hat. That's awesome.
yeah, I agree 100%. I agree. And then here's where we're going to get into a lot of problems. I mean, Boise State at three. Listen, my boy Janty, I think he should be the Heisman personally. That dude has been balling. And not to mention, his stats are not even reflective of what his season could have been because he sat out in the fourth quarter in, I think, 5 games. And he's also missed some other time just because of the blowouts that have been happening. I mean, Boise State's been blowing teams off the face of the earth, which is all well and good. But you're playing the Mountain West.
I mean, going back to that, yeah, clear Heisman winner. I mean, the guys put up insane numbers and everything like that. But I mean, in Boise State's, the situation that they're in and everything with that first round bye. I mean, man, you gotta come out and show out. I mean, or that's an easy quarterfinal exit right there.
Yeah, and I we'll get into our picks and stuff for that. I do have them exiting in the first round in some serious fashion. Because I mean Boise State, right? Again, yes, they won their conference championship. It's the Mountain West, though, right? Like whatever. Your strength of schedule 78th, 78th in the country. There's not a single team in the top. I guess Army had a slightly worse strength of schedule at 90 or 91, whatever. But there's not a single team in the top 25 that's even like remotely close to that. It's absurd in my opinion. But they're the 3 seed. We'll give them the 3 seed. Whatever. I don't like that. I think Boise State should be at best like I think they should be like a 10 or an 11 personally speaking.
I was gonna go
Um,
double digits. Yeah.
Yeah, like I have them playing the first round. You have to show me that you deserve a spot in there. Yeah, I think they should have to play. And same thing with the fourth seed, Arizona State, right? Arizona State balled out yesterday against Iowa State. Don't get me wrong. They played really, really well. They had a great game. They won the Big 12 championship. Kudos to you. Again, though, you're not a 4 seed. You
I
are
mean,
another team.
that's the same thing,
Yeah.
right? I mean, ASU played one team that was ranked within the top 15 all year, and the craziest thing is like, I don't like, how do you consider strength of schedule and then give them that first round bye?
Exactly. And this is the thing with the committee and stuff, right? Like they say that they want to honor the teams that are like they want the 12 best teams. We can argue that this is the 12 best teams, it's not the 12 best teams. That's fine. Anybody can have their opinion on that. I don't think necessarily saying Boise State and Arizona State aren't in the 12 best teams. They're close, if you ask me. I don't think they necessarily are, but I'm not going to argue that one. My thing with this is right. You say you want to the 12 best teams. You want to honor the schedules, the records, everything they've done all year. What have you done all year? Your strength of schedule is 62, right? Boise State's at what did I say 78. Like we're talking, very poor strength of schedules here. Yes, you got it done, and again, you won the Big 12, fine, but it doesn't give you a first round bye. To me, that's like a slap in the face to teams like Texas and Ohio State and Penn State and even Notre Dame. Like I could make a stronger case for Penn State and Texas to have the first round bye over Arizona State and Boise State. They actually played teams this year.
Yes, 100%. I completely agree with everything that you said.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's going to be people who disagree, But hey,
I
listen,
just
like
so
just because you win,
I was browsing through like ESPN and stuff, and I was reading this quote, and I had to take it off. But like when the committee came out, they made the announcement, everything like that. One of the quotes that caught me really off guard, and it's a long one. And don't get me wrong, I've been saying this for a long time. Three lost teams. I mean it's very tough. It's almost impossible to make a case to be in. But with that being said. Manuel on the committee said that we value strength of schedule. That's why Alabama is a three-loss team, ranked ahead of the other teams that have two losses. It is something we talked about quite a bit, but in the balance of it this way, of SMU played in that game, losing on the last second field goal, great win, Clemson, great game. We just felt that in this particular case, SMU still had the nod above Alabama. But there's no disrespect to Alabama's strength of schedule. It's merely looking at the entire body of the work of both teams. That doesn't even make sense to me.
it's a that whole statement is just a contradiction in of
It
itself. Like
contradicts
that,
itself completely.
yeah, it's absurd. We're gonna get into the Clemson talk here in a little bit.
Like, just
But here's my other thing too. Go ahead. Finish your thought
I
there.
was going to say, and then keep it at the three losses. If that's going to be the line, call it the line. Like, if that's going to be what the case is going to be, no three-loss team should ever get in. That's fine. But don't bring up strength of schedule and don't double down on it. And you're telling me that SMU had got the nod? That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean SMU strength of schedule. Where is SMU on my listing here? SMU strength of schedule is 57. The Tide was 18.
It's not even comparable.
Like, yeah, it's ridiculous. And like, we're finishing up our discussion on the top four teams, right? But let's say we were in last year's predicament here with the 4-team playoff. Oregon, Georgia, 1-2, fine, no problem. Arizona State and Boise State would not even be sniffing the college football playoffs if it was the 4-team format.
Yep.
It's absurd to me. Whatever. Anyway, they're both going to get. Actually, Arizona State maybe not, but Boise State's getting smoked in the quarterfinals. I can't wait to watch that
Oh,
because we'll talk about our picks, but Penn State's going to smoke them.
yeah.
Anyway, over to Texas at 5. Tough loss again for them to
Again.
Georgia. I mean, like everyone's been talking about how good Texas is. I'm not going to argue with them being the 5. They had a good season, both losses on the year to Georgia. I guess lucky for Texas that they're the 5 seed and not like the 7 seed or even the 6 seed that they'd have to potentially play Georgia again. Because, I don't think Sark wants to take a third loss in the same season to the same team. That would be like comical. Like,
Yeah, I don't
I
think that's
mean,
ever happened
how could
before.
you have any worse luck? And they could potentially play again in the national championship,
Yeah.
but that's not happening.
I mean, I'll give it to Texas. Hell of an entrance to the SEC. I mean, hell yeah. I mean, holding it down and
Yeah,
everything. I'll give them that.
no, 100%. Texas, again, good. And the other thing too that I like here too is they're not being penalized too much for losing that SEC championship. Right? I don't think teams should be penalized for losing in a championship game necessarily if they deserve to not be penalized, right? So that's going to kind of sound like that manual statement there. It kind of sounds like what am I talking about? Both sides of my mouth. Like Texas is playing Georgia, right? Georgia's obviously second ranked. They lost them already. But if you look at Texas's resume throughout the year, adding that second loss in there to me doesn't really hurt that bad, in my opinion. To a team like SMU, who lost their second game in the championship, well, mm, yeah, I think that's a little different, but we'll talk about them. Penn State
Yeah, I like
putting
Penn
up.
State. I like Penn State. I mean, the biggest, if we're going to bounce to number 6, Penn State, I just kind of want to. I mean, this is all dependent on what James Franklin can do with this program as a head coach and pushing them through in that longevity. I mean, this team has struggled with conference opponents over the years and stuff like that. Really, ever since I've kind of tuned in. Um, but look, it's like Franklin's got to get his team ready. I mean, it's a great season. They had 2 losses, both against top 5 teams. So I mean, I think that they're primed and ready to kind of make a run. So I mean, a win against SMU, which I heavily predict. I think Penn State should handle SMU like with ease, I should say. And a matchup with Boise in the quarters. I mean, I think Penn State, Franklin get the heads on right and everything like that. I feel like they're primed for a run.
I agree
Uh,
100%. I think Penn State's had a really, really good season. I I'm happy that they're kind of where they are. Because as a Philadelphia guy, as a Penn State fan, all my family went there. I didn't go there, but my family did. So I'll be a Penn State fan ish of sorts. I'm happy for them, right? Like you said, two losses, but they lost to Ohio State and Oregon, who were both in the college football playoffs. Both pretty close games, right? Some would say the Oregon game wasn't really that close. The score, I think, makes it a little bit closer, but I think they showed some grit there in that game, and good with them at 6. Um, Again, overall, they had a good year. Very, very good year. Good for them.
Yeah.
Moving on, number 7, Notre Dame.
I
I feel like
just,
Notre Dame's had a free ride all freaking year long. Am I
man, I was gonna
wrong?
say I freaking hate this program.
Am I wrong?
Oh my
Like,
god, not at all. I mean, but the whole thing is, I mean, that aside, I mean, you can't deny that their offense has put up numbers this year. I mean, a lot of their wins are just, I mean, not necessarily blowouts, but man, that offense has put up some numbers this year. So, I mean, once again, just looking at that team's strength of schedule as well, I just didn't see it being there, like it was with a lot of other programs. But yeah,
they're,
no,
they're
Notre Dame,
59th strength of schedule.
yeah, that's just
59th. I mean, let's. I gotta look at their scores. They did beat a bunch of ranked teams apparently. I think these are a lot of gifted unranked teams though. So USC unranked, they won. They beat Army, who was ranked. Okay, gift of a rank there though, if you ask me.
you should
UVA
beat
unranked,
Army.
FSU unranked, Navy. I mean, they were ranked at the time. Come on now. Georgia Tech, Stanford, Louisville, who was ranked at the time, not ranked anymore, and then Texas A&M.
What was that? That Texas A&M wasn't that the first game of the season?
Yeah, exactly.
You're not judging anything off that. Like, come on.
No, you can't. You can't. So yeah, they beat. Oh, whoop de doo. They beat those teams. I don't know. To me, that's kind of a joke, but whatever. And here you go again. Notre Dame. I guess it's the luck of the Irish, man. I really think it's the
It's
luck of the Irish because then they get a softball in Indiana. Like,
hilarious.
talk about the most undeserving teams to be in here. Indiana has to take the cake, I think.
How can we give them the easiest way? Oh
I mean,
man.
teams who don't deserve to be in the college football playoffs. I'm sorry, I'm bouncing to number 10 because I have a lot to say about Indiana.
Yes.
This
Go.
Indiana team. People can fight me all day you want on it. I know they are 8-1 in their conference overall, 11-1. But see, this is where the committee to me is having their cake and they're eating it too by saying we want strength of schedule, we want all this, we want good matchups, the 12 best teams. Indiana is nowhere near the top 12 teams. Their strength of schedule is 67th in the country. Okay, they played one ranked team all year and got the pants blown off them. They played Ohio State. They weren't even in the game. The closest that game ever was at kickoff. And you're telling me this is one of the 12 best teams? I mean, they beat Florida International. That's a school. I don't even know. I don't even know. I'm looking at their schedule right now. WIU, Western Illinois. Shit, I had to look that up because I didn't even know what school that was. UCLA. Then we got CLT. What's that? Chattanooga. Oh, Charlotte. Even better. I mean, Maryland, Northwestern, Nebraska, Washington. You literally played the bottom 7 teams in the Big Ten, and now apparently you're one of the best teams in college football.
Put him in, baby. Put him in. It's unreal. Ugh,
I
but
mean, it's insanity to me that this Indiana team is considered one of the 12 best. And like I know that the schedule was made before, like I get it, but when the committee wants to talk the way they're talking about teams that are like showing up and showing out, you played an Ohio State team that you weren't even close with.
like you said, I mean, the closest it was at the kickoff. That's and it makes
It's remarkable to me. Like if you look at the Big Ten standings, right? Purdue, I'm going from bottom to top. Purdue, Maryland, Northwestern, Wisconsin, Michigan State, Nebraska, UCLA, USC, Washington. The only team that they didn't play was Wisconsin.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the only team they didn't play. They played USC, who ended 4-5. In the conference, they ended 6-6. UCLA 5-7. Michigan State 5-7. Wisconsin 5-7. Northwestern 4-11. Maryland 4-11, and Purdue 1-11. I'm beside myself with Indiana, but we'll talk about them again, I'm sure, very soon here. Let's go back up to number 8, Ohio State. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on Ohio State?
I mean, look, they got to bounce back after Michigan, right? I mean, Ryan Day's got to pick himself in the squad up. Yeah, four straight to Michigan in the last 4 years is not a good look. But hey, I mean, they're fine. They're in the playoffs. They're ready to go. I mean, I think they're primed to make a run if they can get past Tennessee. But man, that's a tough first round matchup. Tennessee's not going to go away lightly. They're a well coached program. Got a lot of respect for that team and the coach over there. But yeah, they beat us. They got our number this year. So Ohio State's got to they got to come ready. That's that.
Yeah, they do. Tennessee's a good team. Tennessee's a good team this year. Like you said, well coached. I think they're ready too. I think Tennessee is one of those teams too that shows up for the occasion, right? I feel like a lot of these teams they tend to not show up when they need to at the most important times.
Yeah.
Like Ohio State playing the Michigan game. Like that was bad. That was really, really bad. And some people were saying Ohio State should be knocked out of the playoffs just for that. And I disagree. I think Ohio State's been a very, very good team all year. But this game with Tennessee is what I'm looking forward to most in the
That's
first round.
Yeah, that's the game I'm most excited for as well. Yeah, 100%.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it because Tennessee's been good all year long, and this is going to be this is the banger in the first round, and this is the college football that we want to see. Right in the playoffs, you want to see good teams playing good teams, and this is why I have a problem with the way the quarterfinals are going to shake out with an Arizona State and the Boise State getting that first round bye. Like to me, you have to prove to me that you deserve that. Winning your shitty conference championship doesn't mean that you deserve that bye. And I want to see games like a Tennessee Ohio State in every single game. I don't want to see a Notre Dame Indiana. I don't want to see that game. I'm not going to watch the game. I honestly won't. Because, again, it's another team where Indiana might make me eat my words, but I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. Notre Dame's going to beat the pants off them.
Yeah. If their offensive numbers are showing anything this year, it should be exactly that.
Yep. All right, let's talk about these last three teams here because I have a problem with all three of them. SMU is probably the least problematic for me, if that even makes sense. I think I used the word probably 6 times in the same sentence in different fashions, but it's okay. Can do what I want. But all right, Indiana, SMU, Clemson. Out of those three teams, is there one that you think deserves to be in the playoffs?
Ah, man, no. Just flat out no. Like that's just my answer. I mean SMU. I mean, like I said earlier. I mean, I'm not sure how the committee can sit back and weigh the Alabama and SMU schedules and still think to give SMU the nod. But we're sitting here. It just feels like a classic. What was it? FS 2023 FSU kind of scenario. I mean, we saw how that shook out last year, and I mean, we'll see how it shakes out. I mean, I don't want to eat my own words, but I may, but I highly doubt it. But look, I mean, like we'll see how it plays out. But I predict. I mean, like Penn State will make the committee look stupid um, for just that entire like that game in general. So I got a lot kind of riding on Penn State and stuff here to help me out with my opinions. But yeah, no, I don't really know what to say with any of these 10, 11, and 12 teams.
Yeah, I'm at a loss here. Like I said, I don't think losing your conference championship should necessarily get you out. But in like an SMU case, I mean, come on now. Like I don't like the ACC really. It's not like you're playing like it's a major conference, but to me, it's not like oh, it's the ACC. I'm like, damn, it's the ACC. Woo.
The Big Ten
Um,
and you got the SEC.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then just because Clemson won that game, now we got them in. Like,
This
whoa,
that
whoa,
is
whoa,
the
whoa, whoa.
that is the most like mind-blowing thing in my entire opinion. I mean, like literally the first thing I got written down is how in the world is Clemson in the playoffs? Like I
No,
mean
like
just strength of schedule,
that
everything. I just
that's
oh it's
criminal to
amazing.
me.
I
Clemson being in is criminal to me. All right,
I,
let's take
I
a
will
look at Clemson because it's criminal to me. All right, it's really,
just
really criminal to me.
Steve Sarkisian should make an absolute mockery of this Clemson program.
They will. I firmly believe that they will. And here's why I have a problem with the Indianas, the SMU's, and the Clemsons. Right? I'm going to talk about Clemson in a minute, but I think there's teams that are more deserving. Yes, they have more losses.
Hmm?
Yes, they do. Okay, I'm not going to say they don't have more losses, but I think they are better teams. Alabama is an example, right? I'm not even going to say that they deserve it, but I think they're a better team than either one of those three teams. South Carolina. South Carolina got shafted because they lost to Alabama in a close game, mind you. Right? So basically, if Bama wasn't in, you knew South Carolina wasn't going in because it's an easy one that they lost to them. Right? So like that one's we're not doing that. But like I'm sitting here and I'm like the South Carolinas of the world, the Alabamas of the world, hell, even Miami. Right? I know they're from the same conference, but like Miami. Then you got Ole Miss. Like I can name four teams that I
If
think
you're
are
telling
more
me right
deserving.
now, if you tell me right now that if Ole Miss were to play Clemson and that you're telling me that Clemson's going to win that game, there's no way in the world that's happening.
No,
Oh my
Clemson's losing. Like here you go, right? First game of the season, Clemson played Georgia. They lost 34-3. I know it's the first game of the season. You put up 3 points on Georgia. Like what? And then, all right, you beat Appalachian State, you beat North Carolina State, Stanford, FSU, Wake Forest, UVA. They lost to Louisville, who was unranked at the time. They used to be ranked. They were unranked. Whatever. Virginia Tech, Pitt, the Citadel. Then you lost to South Carolina and you beat SMU in the ACC championship, and boom, you're in. So you lost to the two ranked teams you played in the actual season. You lost to both of them, and now we're going to put them in because they beat SMU, and now they're in.
Give me a break. It just feels like I mean, like the committee just kind of took a step back and it's just like, well, we put Clemson in, then we can make the case that Alabama shouldn't be in, and then Gamecock shouldn't be in because they lost to that. I just feel like they just it's just the easy cop out or easy kind of like not excuse.
Yeah,
It's just these
yeah.
aren't
To me,
like you said.
10 through 12 is a joke. I mean, but then again, right? They're there, so we're gonna see what happens. I guess we're gonna
It is
see what
what it is.
happens. I'd prefer to see a Alabama in there. I'd prefer to see a South Carolina. I'll be honest with you right now. This might be a hot take. If South Carolina was in this playoffs, I honestly would see South Carolina, especially if you gave them that 12 seed where I think they should be. Because personally, I would have it as Indiana would be out, Clemson is out. I'll give SMU the 10 seed. For me, it would look like SMU at 10, Bama at 11, South Carolina at 12. That's how it would look to me,
It's a
right?
much stronger playoff bracket than what we have sitting in front of us.
And I'll be honest with you, with those teams that I just said, South Carolina may make it to the semifinals.
Yeah.
I don't think a team wants to see South Carolina right now. South Carolina looks deadly. But now we're not going to see them because they're not in the playoffs because we got Indiana, SMU, and Clemson. Again, SMU, I don't have a problem with it. I'd have them at 10, honestly. And I'd have Bama in there, and people are going to be, oh, are you a Bama fan? But miss me with that. Like, honestly, miss me with that. It's, to me, the fact that Indiana's even in the conversation here is a joke. And the fact that Clemson got in because they beat SMU is even funnier.
It kind of just seems like a handout. That's all it is.
Yeah. And to me, basically, the committee set this precedent now that you win your conference championship, you're automatically in the playoff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like you could finish the year with 5 losses but you
Yeah.
win your conference championship, you deserve to be in the playoff.
Yep.
Really?
That's what I got from year one from the committee too. So, uh,
All right. Well, I guess we're on the same page there. I'm gonna have to clip that and put that as like a short on TikTok or something. But anyway, all right. Let's talk about these first games. Right. So the first round, Clemson, Texas, the
yeah.
12-5 matchup. Pulling up the sportsbook lines right now.
Yeah. What do we got?
As of December 8th, so Sunday, December 8th, in the early evening on the East Coast. This is this. This is the first time I saw the sportsbook line. First time I saw this.
Can I
Texas
guess?
is in a go ahead.
What the? Oh God. Um, is it over 17?
No, it's lower than that, but
Okay, I was gonna take the high route, but I was like, what is it?
11 and a half.
Okay,
11 and a half. So
that's
we're
not a
you're
playoff
basically
game.
you're spotting two touchdowns basically. I know 11 and a half is not two touchdowns, but it's more than two scores almost because the touchdown and a field goal doesn't cover the 11 and a half. So like this is remarkable to me. But the committee so they put this together, and the sports books already know. So like Vegas is always right. For anybody who doesn't know this, Vegas is 99.9% right. Yes, they get some lines wrong, but like Vegas always knows. Vegas knows this is an absolute mismatch. 11 and a half point favorite, Texas. Who you got winning that game? Straight up, no points involved.
Oh, Texas.
I'll be honest with you. I think Texas covers the 11 and a half.
Oh, definitely. But I kind of just I wanted to see like I wish I did like mock things, right? So I wish I could have seen like the line on like, if Bama were to make it in or if like Carolina were to make it in, like how much tighter that would have been. They contradict themselves. It's hilarious.
Oh, 100%,
And
100%.
Vegas
I
just
mean,
affirms it. That's all it is.
yeah. If any one of those three teams that we mentioned, South Carolina, Bama, Miami,
Those are all within one score
uh,
games.
they're all pretty close. I mean, these spreads are all pretty wide out, if you ask me. But yeah, so all right, I have Texas too. Texas
Yeah.
playing Arizona State
Yeah.
in the quarters. Tennessee, Ohio State spread 7.5 to Ohio State.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, man, I was gonna say it's gonna be the best game on the slate of the first round. It's not even gonna
100%.
be close. But just I feel like all around, as much as I want to, credit the SEC and everything, man, I think Ohio State wins this one. I think they pull it out with a big bounce back game from Michigan and stuff like that, and then they make a statement. So I mean, but it could go either way. That's what I want to see out of these playoff games is the toss ups. I don't know if I don't know. Like I want to eat my words when I say things, but like ah, I got Ohio State winning this one.
All right, I'm going to differ with you there. I got Tennessee winning that one. I like Tennessee in this spot. I think Ohio State's going to be ready to bounce back, and they're going to fall flat on their face. I think that Michigan loss is going to eat at them, and as soon as one thing goes awry, it's just going to be everybody at each other's throats. That's what I think is going to happen. But hey, who knows? We'll see what happens.
It's
And
yeah,
listen, real quick, because I didn't even mention this. So the timing of the games speaks to how exciting these games are, right? That the Ohio State Tennessee game is prime time,
duh.
at
Yeah,
noon,
it's
right? Then the Texas game is at 4 o'clock, which I guess is fine.
you slot Texas up there.
I don't
Yeah, they deserve that.
I don't love it, but it's fine. It is what it is. And then so these are all on Saturday. Um, And then the Penn State SMU game, we're going to talk about that next. That's the 12 o'clock game on Saturday, which again, to me, that's fine because this is so unexciting to me, right?
I,
Penn State's at home. They're 7.5 point favorites according to the sports books.
yeah.
And I think Penn State's going to blow the pants off SMU. I mean, the other
Yeah.
thing, not to even mention, it's probably, if we were talking next Saturday in Happy Valley, I mean, it's going to be what, probably 20 degrees.
It's gonna be cold as shit.
Southern
So
Methodist University is what, outside of Dallas or something?
Texas,
Like
yeah.
they're used to the warm weather. So they're telling me they're gonna have to come adjust to the cold and beat Penn State? No,
Not happening.
I mean they don't even. And then the game that I'm even least excited for, Indiana Notre Dame. I mean, the sports book here has Notre Dame as 7.5 point favorites, and I think that only is based on the fact that Notre Dame hasn't done anything all year. So like you're giving them the spread off kind of not knowing.
Yeah, which is
But
I'm
I
not the
think
biggest Notre Dame fan, but that's fine. I'll take it.
Notre Dame's going to win that game. Indiana's a joke. I don't know. I really hope one of these teams makes me eat my words so I can like have some confidence in the committee. But my
Right.
confidence in the committee is like an all-time low right now.
And yeah, it was last year was hilarious with the whole FSU Bama thing, but this is getting a little bit out of hand. So I do hope you're right with the whole. I hope the committee does see something in these schools and makes us eat our own words. But it's tough from this point looking in, or just being able to
I'll be
see it.
honest. I don't even need them to win. If they make it a game, I'll be happy.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I don't even like I don't need them to win. I really don't. I just like I, if Indiana can stay within a couple scores, I'll be happy.
yeah.
Like
But
I even Indiana, I guess Notre Dame's my least favorite team on this entire thing because again, I don't think they played many teams, but like I don't think Clemson's going to stay that close to Texas. I don't think SMU is going to stay that close to Penn State. So, all right, first round going. We both had Texas. You have Ohio State, I have Tennessee. Both have Penn State, both have Notre Dame. People
yep.
would hover and be like, "Yeah, you're picking all the home teams. You're picking all the favorites to win these games." And we're both trying to tell you this: the committee is wrong on Clemson. They're wrong on SMU, and they're wrong on Indiana.
You could have Texas go to it doesn't matter. You could have Ohio State go to Tennessee, it doesn't matter. You could have Penn State go down to SMU, it doesn't matter. Notre Dame could go to India, it doesn't matter. You could make them all away games. They're still going to win. Like it's like. We'll
I
see how it
agree.
plays
I
out.
really do. I really agree. We'll see is right. We will see is right. And again, for the teams that we've mentioned, I know they have bad losses. Like I know Bama has the bad losses to Vanderbilt, and I know they have the bad loss to Oklahoma that basically cemented them being out. I know Miami has some bad losses. I know South Carolina has 3 losses. Like I understand all of that, but if you can sit here and honestly make an argument with me that Clemson, SMU, and Indiana are fundamentally better football teams than either one of. I'll even remove Miami from that, like an Ole Miss, in South Carolina, or an Alabama. Drop me an email at onlydegenspod@gmail.com, and we will have you on the pod, and we can debate it all day long if you want.
For sure.
Just
For
throwing it
sure.
out there to anybody who wants to hop on the pod and debate some things. All right, talk quarterfinals. We both have Texas playing Arizona State. How's that game shake out?
Texas, Arizona State, man. I mean, I still got Texas. Like, I think Texas is a solid program. Sarkeesian's got that team running. The conference championship was a little, off to a slow start and everything. A little couple. It was just a weird game all around to be. I don't think it's an accurate representation of what that team can do. But then again, you're playing Georgia too, so it's just two powerhouses going at it. But no, I think Texas handles Clemson, and I think Texas handles Arizona State. So that's what I got.
I agree. I agree. And we'll review this next week. We'll see how wrong or how right we were.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree, though. I think Texas is going to handle Arizona State as well. I think you made a really really good point there too. With it's the game against Georgia was not a good representation of how good Texas actually is, for the sole purpose that the first half there was like a snooze fest because it was a defensive battle. So
And you're
got
playing the
two
team for
really
the
good
second
teams going
time.
at it.
So
Yeah, exactly. And like it's like a chess match, right?
it is.
If anybody knows chess, you don't see a lot of very good chess players who are going against each other ending in like a quick match. They're very defensive, a lot of thought going into it. There's a lot of like back and forth, back and forth. So I have no problem with it. I think Texas beats Arizona State. Um, Going to the next round, Tennessee, Ohio State. You have Ohio State playing Oregon. I have Tennessee playing Oregon. I don't think it really matters which team's playing Oregon. Let's be honest.
No, I mean Oregon's just they're dogs. I mean, geez. Yeah, I mean, I got Oregon. Keep going. They've given me no reason to say to otherwise. So
Oh, I agree 100%. I think Oregon is definitely going to win that game. I just have a question. How long has Dylan Gabriel been playing quarterback at Oregon? Honestly,
can we look that up?
like like How old is he? Honestly, does anyone know? Let me find out. I gotta look this up. I honestly have to look up how old he is because
He's not as bad as some of the others.
oh,
He's
he's a
20.
senior. Okay, all right, he's not too bad. All right, I feel like he's been there forever, but
Definitely no Stenson Bennett, but yeah.
oh, Stetson Bennett. Oh, classic. Shout out. All right, Penn State, SMU. We both have Penn State,
Yep.
and then we have Penn State playing Boise State.
Yep.
What do you got there?
Look, I mean, it's Boise State needs to establish their Heisman winner, in my opinion, right? In that game. And they got to come out. They got that first round bias. They got to come out firing. They got to be fluid. They got to be all on the same page. Coaching, kids, everything's got to be right because Penn State's going to come out swinging. They're an exciting team. End of the day, I got Penn State winning it. I got Penn State beating Boise State. I think Penn State's defense, handles that candidate, that Heisman candidate, and I think they get the win.
I agree. I think Penn State's gonna win that game. Boise State again.
But they could
I
shock me.
have
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they did keep a close game with Oregon. I just looked it up. Second game of the season. Um, Oregon beat them 37-34. So they did keep it close with Oregon. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Boise State is not a deserving team of being in the playoffs. I certainly think they are. I don't think they're deserving of the 3 seed and a first round bye. That's just what I think. But I do think Penn State will. I do think Penn State will take care of business there. It will be a Heisman or bust game for Janty, though, if you ask me. If he does not have a good game, I think he absolutely just lets the Heisman slip from his hands. Um, and I think here's the problem. I think Penn State's going to be ready for that. I think they're going to try to shut down Janty and make Boise State beat them any other way. And the question is, can Boise State do it?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean that's their number
Find
one
out.
attack, right? I mean you've watched the film all year, right? I mean you know exactly what to expect. He's gonna get the ball, so
Yep.
shut him down, make them beat you in the air, make them beat you every single other way. But yeah, I like Penn State. They can, where they're at in the bracket, man. I feel like they can put on a little run here.
I feel like Penn State's got a very, very good, very, very, very good line in here. I think they have the best line out of any of these early teams here. Other than Texas, I think Texas has a pretty good line too, but I'd be more scared of Arizona State than I would be Boise State. I could be completely off on that. But I think Penn State has a very, very good route here, if you ask me.
That 6 seed's a nice line in. So
It is. All right. Notre Dame, Georgia.
oh, Georgia, by God, it's yeah, no. Kirby
Yeah,
Smart.
I mean, there's not much to say there.
Get
Kirby
Carson
Smart,
Beck back and everything and stuff. Get the guys against get the squad kind of all rallied up and stuff. Kirby does an incredible job of doing that and rallying everything, and he knows the playoff experience better than anybody else in this entire bracket. So I think Georgia will be exactly what they need to be, the right headspace, right everything. So I think Georgia is primed and set to go on a run here, if not make it all the way to the Natty. So
I like that. I like that. All right, we'll kind of come back upwards. Georgia, Penn State. Who you got?
that'd be a hell of a game. Hell of a game. Yeah, I just think they get outcoached in that game, right? I think Kirby Smart has the complete edge over Franklin, so I think the players will execute on Georgia's behalf, and yeah, I got Georgia in that one for sure.
I do too. I saw something the other. I feel like last night or something when I was scrolling through Twitter at like 1 o'clock in the morning that Franklin's record against like top five opponents and like good coaches is it's horrendous.
It's
He's
awful.
so bad. Anyway, I agree though. I think Georgia takes care of that. And then in the other semifinal game, Texas Oregon. I think that's gonna be a good game. I do think Oregon's going to beat Texas in that game, though. I do not think we're going to see a Texas Georgia rematch for the third time, but that's going to be a hell of a game. Like the
I,
semifinals, I'm excited for. I think that'll be a really, really good semifinal.
yep, 100%.
But if you asked me, like, and I kind of alluded to this in the very, very beginning here, so I'm making my whole thing just come around. So if anybody wants to debate me on anything I've said, the point that I made in the beginning is coming to full fruition here. I thought I said the best four teams were Oregon, Georgia, Penn State, and Texas. Did we not say that in the beginning? Those should be the top four teams.
That's what I heard.
So we got the top four teams playing in the playoffs. So I guess, hey, in the semifinals, I guess we know something. We know something. I could be, again, off my rocker, but I don't think I am. I wasn't dropped on my head as a kid. So
Nope.
Anyway, um, Oregon, Georgia, who you got?
Oh man, that's gonna be that's tough. I gotta stick with my SEC roots. I gotta go Georgia's winning the whole thing. I think Carson Beck's. I mean, he's been in this position. Kirby's been in this position. I feel like the team's completely already there and stuff. So I just got to stay healthy, keep everybody together, keep the offense and defense flowing, and I feel like they not handle Oregon. It's going to be a damn good game. But yeah, I think Georgia pulls it out right at the end there.
I agree. I think it's going to be a really good game. I agree. I think Georgia's going to win that game. And we're going to go over all these brackets week by week, see how good we did, how far off we are. But if you want to know how confident I am in Georgia to win, and I'm kind of lacking that confidence a little bit after watching my Eagles today. Yesterday, yesterday morning, I put in a futures bet: Georgia to win the national championship and the Birds to win the Super Bowl. I put that bet in yesterday morning before any of these games kicked off. So we'll see what happens. I don't know, but I'm looking
Like
forward
it.
to it. I think it's going to be good. And next week we will be back to review:
Yeah.
were we just so far off, or were we spot on?
We'll see, man. It's gonna be either we're gonna eat all of our words or we're gonna look great. One or the
We'll
other.
see what happens. I honestly think we're going to look great. But that'll bring us to the wrap of the college football section and segment of the show. So, um, overall, I think our driving points here are: the committee talks out of both sides of its mouth. I don't think they actually know what they want. They say they want one thing. What they pick, to me, says the exact opposite of what they want. I don't think the 12 best teams are in this game or in the playoffs. I think Indiana, SMU can have their spot, and Clemson. But Indiana and Clemson, to me, don't deserve this at all. But we'll see what happens. Any final thoughts on the playoff bracket and the committee as a whole, JT?
Like you said, we'll see. I mean, there's this video that was circulating on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it. It was like a short little video of them showing the playoff committee all watching the teams, like on the TVs and stuff. Did you get a chance to see that?
No, I haven't seen it.
No,
I'll
it was
have to
just like
watch it.
it was probably like a 6 or 7 second video. It was just like a panning of like them just watching all the games and stuff. Not a single beer, not a single smile. Dude, it looked so weird. It looked like a political like government meeting. Like it didn't look like a college committee playoff. Like no excitement, no nothing, no bickering back and forth, no heated talks or anything. And I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass. Maybe I want to see some more emotions with the committee and the people that run these things and stuff. But I don't know. We'll see. Just like you said. So that's what I got, man.
JT just wants a damn keg in the conference
Just
committee room.
let the people live.
I love it. I love it. All right. Now the segment of kegs. I think we got to drop in and see what the cart girl has for us.
I like it.
All right, we got a visit from the cart girl. JT, what did the cart girl bring you today?
I'll tell you what. It's a cold day out there, man. You need something to warm up. So I mean, my kind of go-to thing. I mean, as I've said in the past too, I'm a big beer drinker, so it's not going to be a warm drink, but I got to warm up, right? And that's called a beer blanket. So kind of, I mean, really, in the past when it's getting cold out, man, you cannot beat just the classic Guinness, dude. Just classic Guinness on the course, smooth, goes down easy, warms you right up. Had a couple of those today watching the Birds game and stuff, but yeah, that's what she got me. What about
That's
you?
what she got you. There you go. I had a stop from the elf cart girl. She was wearing her little elf ears and everything. So me and the fiance went out last night. And I couldn't decide what I wanted from the draft list, and then just kind of just pulled the trigger on the Mad Elf. Had it before, went for it last night again. I feel like a very holiday beer. I kind of like it. Big fan of like a lot of the Belgian style beers in general. So I was like, all right, we'll take this one. And then let me tell you something. Mad Elf on an empty stomach is that has Degen feeling some type of way. Call me a lightweight, call me whatever you want. It was at like this is like 8 o'clock at night. I hadn't eaten all day yet. Literally had not had a bite to eat all day. And started sipping that Mad Elf. After I we were at a tree lighting, I had a couple other beers there, and then the Mad Elf. Oh my god, that one hit me. But Mad
Oh,
Elf, very very good.
Yeah, Madoff's a great beer. It's gotten me a couple times, but yeah, that's a good beer.
Good beer. Relatively local brewery from Harleysville. That's not where it's from. It's from Hershey. It's almost like I'm drinking a damn Mad Elf right now. It's from Hershey. But a big fan. Do like it, especially in the wintertime here. So if you haven't tried a Mad Elf, highly recommend it. Make sure you're eating something because it is like 11.5% or something like that. So just be mindful.
Get a pretzel or something with it. Be responsible.
All right, that'll bring us to the end of episode 2 with Degen, JT, and the Only Degens podcast. JT, what are your final thoughts, final words, final considerations for episode 2?
Man, I'm excited to see the playoffs and how they kick off and stuff. I know we got a long time until everything kind of gets going and stuff. Um, but no, I'm excited. I'm excited to see how things shake up and everything. Thoughts and everything. I just look. I'm happy the Eagles won. I'm happy they beat the Panthers. So at the end of the day, man, I'll have a drink to that. And yeah, that's my week 2 recap.
There you go. Yeah. That was a stressful game. I'm hoping the committee knows something we don't know. And if they do, I guess props to them. I don't see them hitting the mark on this one. I'll be honest with you. I don't think 95% of America sees them hitting the mark on this one. I mean, I was talking to some friends who are not even watching college football, and they were like, "What the heck is this?
Yeah.
Like, who are these teams?" And I was like, "Hey, whatever." But anyway, I think it'll be good. I'm looking forward to college football. Looking forward to the rest of the NFL and getting into these NFL playoffs that are kind of right around the corner as well. So again, if you guys want to check us out on any of the social media platforms, go for it. If you want to send us an email, onlydegens@gmail.com. Send us your bet slips. Send us your funny stories, whatever. If you want to be on the pod, maybe we'll have you on. Send us something that makes me want to have you on, and we'll have you on. Send us an email, but you can find us Only Degens Pod on Instagram, TikTok, all of the major social media. So go check those out. All the links are down below in the description, and we will see you guys for episode 3.